Hello and a very good evening. You're watching the news tonight on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are the headlines this evening. Political parties to return to Parliament for the second half of the budget session from tomorrow. Discussion on general budget, laws relating to the GST regime will top the agenda. Voting concludes for the 7th and final phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh. Over 51.69% voting recorded till 3 p.m. for 40 seats in the state. %85% voter turnout recorded till 3 p.m. in the second and last phase of elections for the Manipur Assembly. Votes polled for 22 seats in the state. Voting to take place for 2 seats in Uttarakhand and Uttar Pradesh tomorrow. Polls were postponed in Uttarakhand's Karnaprayag and UP's Alapur districts after the death of local candidates. Security forces kill alleged member of the Islamic State after prolonged operation in Lucknow's Thakurganj area. The suspect was linked to the Bhopal-Ujjain train blast in Madhya Pradesh on Tuesday. The second half of the budget session is all set to begin on Thursday. While the government is looking at getting the Parliament's nod on several bills, including some GST legislations, the opposition parties have given notices for a discussion on various issues.
After a 2-month-long bitter electoral campaign in 5 states, political leaders are all set to return to Parliament for the second half of the budget session from Thursday. In addition to concluding the discussion on general budget, the government is hoping to getting parliamentary approval for the sum of its bill, including the laws related to the GST regime.
अच्छा बहस हो जाए विषयों के बारे में, बजट का सत्र है, इसलिए बजट के बारे में विस्तार से चर्चा के लिए सरकार तैयार है। मैं चाहता हूं सभी पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज भी इस सेशन को सार्थक बनाने के लिए सब लोग से सहयोग हम लोग चाहते हैं।
The opposition parties on the other side are planning to corner the government on several issues. While the main opposition Congress is likely to raise the issue of recent protest in Delhi University, others have given notices on different issues. Trinamool Congress has given notice under Rule 267 on the issue of Aadhaar cards being made compulsory for infants and midday meals. DMK MP Kanimuri has also given notice under the same rules on the issue of Tamil Nadu fishermen. The proceedings in the upper house are likely to be adjourned on Thursday after paying respects to Congress MP Hajil Abdul Salam, who had passed away during the session break. With the results of assembly polls set to be announced on March 11th, both the houses are likely to witness a lot of action after a 3-day break for Holi. Vishal Dahiya's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, let's now get you the latest from the ongoing assembly elections in verdict 2017. Uttar Pradesh registered a turnout of 60% in the 7th phase of assembly elections. Voter turnout was on these seats was 57.92% in 2012. 40 constituencies, including Prime Minister Narendra Modi's Lok Sabha constituency Varanasi, went to elections on Wednesday. The final leg of the elections had witnessed extensive campaigning from stalwarts of the leading parties.
The 7th and final phase of elections in Uttar Pradesh concluded on Wednesday. Elaborate security arrangements were made in all districts where polling took place without major disruptions. Technical snags in electronic voting machines were reported in Mirzapur and Badoi. In Jaunpur, Harendra Pratap Singh, the BJP candidate from Jafarabad, and 4 others were arrested for allegedly carrying voters to polling booths in 2 vehicles. Senior BJP leader Murli Manohar Joshi cast his vote in Varanasi, while Apna Dal leader and Union Minister Anupriya Patel cast her vote in Mirzapur.
जहाँ तक हमारे गठबंधन का सवाल है तो मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हम एक-एक सीट जीतने जा रहे हैं और उत्तर प्रदेश के अंदर अगली सरकार एनडीए गठबंधन की ही बनेगी।
Many women and senior citizens queued up outside the polling stations to cast their votes.
First of all, we want change. We want UP out of crime. Education. Education is must.
विकास वाली सरकार आवे और बुनकर के लिए काम करे। बुनकर देश में स्थिति बहुत चौपट है। बुनकर के मुद्दे है बिजली मिले, पावर लूम कायदे से चले और
हम दिया कि अच्छी सरकार मिले, जनता का काम हो, विकास हो और क्या चाहिए।
इस बार हम लोग को जो नारा दिया गया है कि कहो दिल से अखिलेश फिर से, हाँ भाई हम लोग को अखिलेश को लाना है.
7 districts including Ghazipur, Varanasi, Chandauli, Mirzapur, Vadoi, Sonbhadra and Jaunpur went to polls on Wednesday. The results will be declared on March 11th along with those of Manipur, Uttarakhand, Goa and Punjab.
It's a spectacular way to celebrate International Women's Day and see an overwhelming participation of women in this democratic process. Since morning, women have come out in large numbers to exercise their franchise. There has been an upsurge in women voter turnout, and in 2014, the turnout touched a record mark of 65%. The Election Commission this time around has unleashed a barrage of measures to motivate women voters so that they come out in large numbers and exercise their franchise. Reporting from Varanasi, with camera person Arvind, I'm Kriti Mishra for Rajya Sabha Television.
Meanwhile, a record 85% turnout has been registered in the second phase of polling in Manipur. While the Congress and the BJP are in a tough fight in all 22 seats that went to polls, Irom Sharmila's Praja Party is the new entrant. Sharmila is in a direct contest with Chief Minister Ibobi Singh in the Taubal seat. Barring a few incidents of clashes between communities and party workers, the election remained peaceful. Counting for both the phases will take place on the 11th of March.
For the last 4 months, the Senapati area was one of the worst affected by United Naga Council economic blockade. But on Wednesday, the place was bustling with people queuing up to cast their vote. Right since 5 a.m., a trend that continued till 3 p.m.
A tentative turnout because we have figures of only 75% of the polling stations, remaining 25% are very far flung with no communication means, so the figures have still not reached. But from the balance 75% figures, the total turnout for this phase has been 86%.
Related to this prevailing situation, the problem Naga are one in favor of to stand for this problem. We need support, public support, or the majority of the people are supportive in favor of the this prevailing situation problem.
The youth and girls are voting for the government that will give them jobs and development.
A paid job, because even the merit student people, they are not elected, and then only those who are not qualified, they are elected by giving money and all. That is what I want, because even the merit student people, they are not elected, and then we're unemployed.
Polling was equally healthy in Thobal, the home constituency of Chief Minister Ibobi Singh, where he is up against Irom Sharmila.
Every citizen of this country has right to contest. Let her also contest. We are extremely happy. We are always most welcome. When he was in the hospital, and by the time also I appealed to her, please break your fast and democratically let us fight your aims and objective. Let us fight together. That is common cause for us also.
With the paramilitary forces on vigil, the district police were welcoming new voters with a gift as encouragement.
We are trying to reward the first-time voters.
You are rewarding the
first-time voters, so that there should be an environment from the very beginning. They should feel that we are being seen, we are being rewarded, and we should continue to do that.
This phase of polling is taking place near the areas of India-Myanmar border. Opposed to Nagas on many issues, the Kuki community is in a majority here. With the BJP wooing them in a big way, it will be interesting to see if votes get divided here.
The second phase of elections in Manipur is most important for Naga politics and the future of economic blockade. It will be interesting to see that whether the monopoly of a particular group in Naga politics is broken in this phase or not. However, the most important question is what will be the future of economic blockade, because most of the people are suffering from it, and even people have gathered for voting in large numbers. Akhilesh Soman for Rajya Sabha Television with camera person Prasanto in Senapati of Manipur.
Meanwhile, polling in Alapur constituency in Ambedkar Nagar district of Uttar Pradesh will take place tomorrow. The voting for this reserved constituency was postponed after SP candidate Chandrasekhar Kanojia died of heart attack while campaigning in Ambedkar Nagar on February 12th. Polling in the constituency was scheduled for February 15th. After the candidate's death, SP fielded his widow Sangeeta Chowdhury in the election. Polling for Uttarakhand's Karnaprayag seat will also take place tomorrow after the Feb 15th election were postponed following the death of BSP candidate Kuldeep Singh Kanwasi in a road accident. Well, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley today mooted the need for reforms to prevent use of money power in elections to the Rajya Sabha and legislative councils. On the subject of general elections, he advocated models for transparent electoral funding. Jaitley also outlined practical problems in bringing parties under the RTI. Here's more.
Finance Minister Arun Jaitley on Wednesday underscored the need for reforms in the elections to the Rajya Sabha and the Legislative Council. He pointed out that despite measures to stop cross-voting in Rajya Sabha, extra votes of MPs do help wealthy candidates. He said in this regard, even legislative councils need big improvement.
You can donate these bonds only to a political party. And these are redeemable, let us say within a period of 4 weeks, if such a time is fixed, or 3 weeks, whatever is the time the scheme will fix, of the purchase of the bond, in only one account of that political party, which has to be pre-declared to the Election Commission. So every recognized political party will have one account, it will declare to the Election Commission.
At the conference focusing on Indian politics and election reforms, the Finance Minister answered questions on issues relating to election funds, simultaneous elections and bringing political parties under RTI. In this regard, he emphasized the need to make elections cashless while mooting the need for electoral bonds.
The Rajya Sabha voting is a transparent voting. You have to show your vote. And if you vote against the decision of the party, you get out. But the problem still remains. So what does a party do when you have that last seat phenomena? I had, in the context of Karnataka, some years ago suggested to some friends that if you have this phenomena, rather than allow undeserving candidates to come in by this process, allow an eminent citizen. It could be some former chief of the armed forces or a former judge or some eminent author who's politically not aligned to come in, so that such people can also have a voice in the upper house. It's better than having a money bag just enter.
The Finance Minister, however, denied that parties resort to exorbitant or avoidable spending during campaigns. He described the recent note ban a better step and said reforms like cashless system and GST could help improve the electoral process. Pancharan Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, it's time for a short break now, but news and updates will continue on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Nationalism, to say, is monopolized by a certain section of people whose agenda is that if you're not with me, then you are anti-national.
Nobody can monopolize nationalism, and nobody can define nationalism.
It was the war that killed her father. Does BJP see Gulmeher Kaur now as an anti-national?
You have to understand that she's just a student for me. Our battle is with the far leftist ideological group.
Watch to the point with Union Minister of State for Home Affairs, Kiran Rijiju, only on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha television. Well, Aseema Nand and 6 other accused in the 2007 Ajmer Dargah blast have been acquitted. 3 others have been convicted by a special National Investigation Agency court in Jaipur. Aseema Nand, who goes by the name Swami Aseema Nand, was accused of masterminding the blast. Those convicted are Sunil Joshi, who has since died, Devendra Gupta and Bhavesh Patel. A total of 13 people were accused in the case. 3 are still on the run. On the evening of October 11, 2007, a powerful bomb went off in the compound of the Ajmer Sharif Dargah, killing 3 people and wounding 15 others. The charge sheet had accused a section of radicalized Hindus associated with the RSS of carrying out the blasts at Ajmer Dargah and Mecca Masjid in Hyderabad. This was claimed to be in retaliation to the 2002 attack on the Amarnath Yatra and the Raghunath Temple in Jammu, allegedly by Muslim terror outfits. Well, a suspected terrorist was killed in the wee hours of Wednesday near Lucknow. The anti-terrorism squad confirmed that the slain suspect was an active member of the ISIS. The police also refuted reports that 2 terror suspects were holed up in a house. According to the police, Saifullah is suspected to be involved in an IED blast that ripped through the coach of a passenger train in central Madhya Pradesh on Tuesday.
A 10-hour-long encounter ended on Wednesday with the anti-terrorism squad gunning down a suspected Islamic State member in Lucknow. The slain militant was identified as Saifullah.
हम लोगों ने उसको स्टॉर्म किया, उसको वार्निंग देने के बाद में उसने फायर किया एटीएस कमांडोज के ऊपर और उसके प्रत्युत्तर में हम लोगों ने भी फायर किया। इसके बाद में पूरे इलाके को प्रॉपर्ली चेक किया गया, दोनों कमरों को, और यहाँ पे सैफुल्लाह नाम का व्यक्ति जिसको कि पहचाना गया है वो मिला है और वो डेड है।
Saifullah was hiding in a house in the Thakurganj area when the local police and the ATS launched a search operation for him on Tuesday. He was suspected to be involved in an IED blast in the Bhopal-Ujjain train near Jabdi station in the Shahjahanpur district of Madhya Pradesh on Tuesday. At least 10 people were injured, 3 very seriously.
हम लोग को टिप ऑफ मिला था कि ISIS से संबंधित एक सस्पेक्ट लखनऊ में इस स्थान पे छुपा हुआ है, जिसपे कि इस स्थान पे जहां हम लोग खड़े हैं घेराबंदी की गई और घेराबंदी करने के बाद में हम लोग ने पूरे टैक्टिक्स का प्रयोग करते हुए कोशिश की कि इस व्यक्ति यानी सैफुल्लाह को जीवित पकड़ा जाए।
Election means every inch of the state is under the surveillance of the law enforcing authorities. In spite of that, if terrorist attack can happen there, when the Prime Minister is crisscrossing the state, when all the senior leaders are there, campaign is going on, right under the nose of the law enforcing authorities, if this can happen, that shows the seriousness of the situation. Whatever is the explanation of the Home Minister of India, it is a fact that, law and order is not in the control of this government.
Security personnel first used chili bomb to flush him out when Saifullah refused to surrender after hours of negotiations. ATS Inspector General Asim Arun said they used explosives to blow up a wall to gain entry. Saifullah was killed during the exchange of fire when commandos stormed the house.
देखिए, ऐसा जो काम देश हित में नहीं किया उसने, इस वजह से हम उससे बहुत नाराज हैं और ऐसे हम देशद्रोही की लाश नहीं लेंगे।
An Islamic State flag, 8 pistols, 650 rounds of ammunition, 50 fired rounds, explosive materials, gold, cash, passports and SIM cards were recovered from the house. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, on the second day of his Gujarat visit, Prime Minister Narendra Modi visited the Somnath temple in Gujarat's Gir Somnath district. He was accompanied by BJP President Amit Shah. Modi also spent 20 minutes with his mother and family. Later in the day, he attended a conclave of women Sarpanch in Gandhinagar. Earlier on Tuesday, the Prime Minister dedicated a petrol plant to the nation at the Dahej Special Economic Zone. He also unveiled a plaque to dedicate to the nation a 4-lane cable-stayed bridge over River Narmada in Varoch district. Shiv Sena's Vishwanath Mahadeshwar was elected mayor of Mumbai after his party emerged victorious in the BMC mayor elections today. Mahadeshwar was elected through a show of hands at the 227-member general body meeting, with the BJP extending their support to the Sena. In the BMC elections that concluded last month, the Shiv Sena won 84 of the 227 seats, while the BJP finished a close second with 82 seats. There's a roundup of the other national news and nationwide. The government made Aadhaar card mandatory for poor women to avail free cooking gas and connections under the Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana. This after the unique identification number was made a must for subsidies in LPG. The Pradhan Mantri Ujjwala Yojana was launched last year to provide 5 crore poor women with free LPG connections in 3 years to provide clean cooking fuel. Women without the Aadhaar number have been asked to apply for it by May 31st. The O Pannirselvam-led AIADMK faction is observing a day-long fast in Chennai and other district capitals of Tamil Nadu, demanding an independent probe into the death of former Chief Minister Jayalalitha. A 12-member delegation had also submitted a memorandum to President Pranab Mukherjee seeking a probe. The state government on Monday cited reports from Apollo hospitals and AIIMS to state that the cause of Jayalalitha's death was a massive cardiac arrest. The Supreme Court once again refused to entertain real estate tycoon Gopal Ansal's plea for seeking more time to surrender in the Upar fire tragedy case. The court said that Gopal will have to surrender on Thursday. Last week, the Supreme Court turned down Gopal's petition to be granted liberty not to surrender till the hearing of his appeal. A 48,000 crore rupees budget for Delhi was presented on Wednesday by the AAP government. This time around, the focus was on improving transport, health, water distribution and education infrastructure. 11,300 crore rupees was allotted to the education sector. 1,156 crore rupees has been set aside for the phase 4 of the Delhi Metro, while 100 crore rupees has been earmarked for developing bus terminals and depots. There was no proposal on levying any new tax. Moving on to some international news now, where Afghanistan continues to remain under Islamic State fire as the militants attacked a military hospital in the capital city of Kabul. Over 30 people were killed and 60 injured in the attack, for which IS has claimed responsibility. Gunmen dressed as doctors slipped into Afghanistan's largest military hospital, the Sardar Daud Khan Hospital, and battled with security forces inside the building for hours. The attack began when a suicide bomber blew himself up at the rear of the hospital, and 3 attackers with automatic weapons and hand grenades entered the complex and started shooting. The attackers were gunned down after special forces landed on the roof of the hospital in the military helicopter. The attack comes a week after 16 people were killed in simultaneous Taliban suicide assaults on 2 security compounds in Kabul. The Afghan president has condemned the attack.
جایی است که در هر قانون، در هر دین، در هر مذهب مسئول است. حمله بر شفاخانه، حمله بر تمام مردم افغانستان و بر تمام زنای افغانستان.
News from UK now, where Theresa May's government suffered a heavy defeat in a vote in the upper house of Parliament on the terms of the country's exit from the European Union. The House of Lords peers backed by 366 votes to 268 a plan to give Parliament final say over Brexit. The amendment would require the final terms of the UK government's withdrawal from the EU to be put to separate votes in the Commons and the Lords. The turnout in the Lords for the vote was the largest since 1831. It is the second defeat the Lords has inflicted on May over the Brexit bill after she and her ministers demanded it be passed by Lords unamended. The vote could put at risk PM's timetable to start talks on quitting the EU later this month.
It was a huge vote, the largest vote I think we've ever had in the House of Lords, certainly in the last couple of centuries, and it was a very big majority, which is disappointing for the government, for us Conservatives, and those of us who are trying to provide for what people voted in the referendum last year. This issue will go back to the House of Commons, and I hope that they will knock it back.
Here's a roundup of the other international news and global buzz. A new round of bomb threats against Jewish community centers across the United States forced lockdowns and evacuations on Tuesday. The threats prompted lawmakers to ask the federal government for increased security for the institutions. Threats were phoned in or emailed in cities including Chicago, Portland, Milwaukee, Oregon, New York and New Jersey. The Trump administration has denounced the newest round of threats. A video has emerged of the son of Kim Jong-nam, the murdered half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. In the 40-second video, the man says, "My name is Kim Hon-sol from North Korea, part of the Kim family." He says he is with his mother and sister, but there are no details on the date or location. It's the Kim family's first public comment since the murder. The video was posted to YouTube by a group that says it helped rescue the family following Kim Jong-nam's death. Tens of thousands of residents are fleeing the Islamic State's controlled western part of Mosul as Iraqi troops get closer. Many of them escaped on foot, walking for days. For many, this is the first time to get out of Mosul since IS took control in 2014. Hundreds of thousands of Iraqis have been displaced since the military operation to oust IS from Mosul launched in October. Meanwhile, government forces continue to fight IS militants after seeing off a nighttime counterattack. Let's shift focus now and bring you up to speed with some sports news in Sports Beat. Indian spin duo of Ravichandran Ashwin and Ravindra Jadeja were jointly ranked number 1 in the ICC Test rankings for bowlers on Wednesday. Jadeja joined Ashwin at the top after India's victory in the second Test against Australia. Jadeja finished with 7 wickets while Ashwin picked up 8 in the match. The last time two bowlers shared the top spot was in April 2008 when Dale Steyn and Muthaiya Muralidharan shared the honours. The Indian women's hockey team notched up a 3-1 win over Belarus to register their 5th consecutive victory and clean sweep the Test series 5-0 in Bhopal. Vandana Kataria, Gurjeet Kaur and Rani scored for India. Serena Williams has withdrawn from 2 major hardcourt tournaments in March due to knee injury. The 23-time Grand Slam champion will miss the BNP Paribas Open in Indian Wells and the Miami Open due to injury. As a result, she will relinquish the world number 1 ranking to German Angelique Kerber. In Champions League football, Real Madrid beat Napoli 3-1 in the second leg of the last 16 tie to advance to the quarterfinals. Sergio Ramos scored 2 goals as Madrid won 6-2 on aggregate. In another tie, German champions Bayern Munich thrashed Arsenal 5-1 to reach the quarterfinals with a 10-2 aggregate score. That's it on this newscast. Have a good evening.